Level 1. The knock at midnight. It was 2:17 a.m. The city was silent. Rain tapped softly against the apartment window. Inside, one man sat alone in the dark. The television was off. His phone had been turned off for days. He hadn't slept well in weeks. Every little sound made him look over his shoulder. Then, 3 loud knocks echoed through the apartment. Bang, bang, bang. His heart stopped. A voice came from outside. FBI, open the door. The room suddenly felt smaller. He didn't move. Another loud knock. Federal Bureau of Investigation. Open the door now. He slowly looked through the curtains. Outside. Black SUVs surrounded the building. Agents wearing jackets marked FBI stood near every exit. Flashlights swept across the windows. There was nowhere to run. His breathing became faster. His hands started shaking. He looked toward an old metal box hidden beneath the floor. Inside the box was a single sealed envelope. For a moment, he thought about opening it, but instead, he slipped it into his backpack. Another voice shouted outside, "Last warning. Open the door." He walked quietly toward the back of the apartment. There was a small emergency staircase. Old, rusty, almost forgotten. Rain poured heavily outside. He stepped onto the stairs. Each step creaked beneath his feet. Halfway down, he stopped. He looked back at the apartment one last time. The front door exploded open. FBI agents rushed inside. But the apartment was already empty. He disappeared into the rain. No one knew where he went. No one knew what was inside the envelope. And no one knew why the FBI wanted him so badly. One thing was certain. This was only the beginning. And this was only level 1. Level 2. America's Most Wanted. The rain finally stopped. Morning arrived, but peace never came. Every television, every news website, every phone screen showed the same face. His face. The FBI is searching for this individual. No one knew his name. No one knew his story. Only one message appeared beneath his photo. If you see him, contact the FBI immediately. Across the country, people started talking. Some believed he was dangerous. Others believed he was innocent. Meanwhile, he was hiding inside an abandoned warehouse outside the city. Cold, hungry, alone. He finally opened the sealed envelope. Inside, there was only one photograph and a small flash drive. The photograph showed him standing beside another man many years ago. The other man's face had been crossed out with a red marker. On the back of the photo, only 4 words were written: "Don't trust anyone." His hands began to shake. He looked at the flash drive. Should he plug it into a computer or destroy it forever before he could decide? He heard footsteps outside. Someone else had found him. And this was only level 2. Level 3. The hidden truth. The warehouse door slowly opened. The man held his breath. A shadow stepped inside. It wasn't an FBI agent. It was an old man. He looked tired. His clothes were wet from the rain. Without saying a word, he placed an old key on the table. Then he whispered, "They've been searching for you for years." The man stared at him. "Who are you?" The old man looked around carefully before answering. "I promised someone that I would protect you." He pointed at the photograph, the man whose face was crossed out. He disappeared 10 years ago. And you were the last person to see him alive. The room became silent. The man remembered flashes of the past, a lonely road, a black SUV, people shouting. Then, nothing. His memories were incomplete. The old man picked up the flash drive. This contains the truth, but once you see it, there is no turning back. The man looked at the flash drive. His hands were shaking. After a long moment, he connected it to an old laptop. The screen lit up. A video file appeared. Its name was Project Raven. Before he could press play, a loud engine stopped outside the warehouse. The old man's face turned pale. He whispered, "They're here." Headlights flooded the broken windows. Footsteps echoed outside. The man closed the laptop, grabbed the flash drive, and prepared to run once again. And this was only level 3. Level 4, Project Raven. The warehouse was no longer safe. The sound of engines grew louder. The old man grabbed the laptop. Move. They ran through the back exit, just seconds before armed agents entered the building, hidden deep inside an abandoned train tunnel. They finally stopped. Both of them were breathing heavily. The old man connected the flash drive to the laptop once again. The screen slowly came to life. A video file opened. The title read, Project Raven, Classified. The recording was 10 years old. The video showed a secret government facility. People wearing black uniforms hurried through long hallways. Then, the camera stopped on one man, the same man from the old photograph. He looked directly into the camera. His face was filled with fear. He said only one sentence. "If you're watching this, I'm already gone." A black SUV speeding away. Then, a young man stepped into the frame. It was him, 10 years younger. He looked confused, as if he had no idea what was happening. The old man paused the video. "You weren't a criminal. You were a witness." The room became silent. Everything he believed about his past started falling apart. Before they could continue, the laptop lost power. The battery was dead. Outside, a helicopter flew overhead. A powerful searchlight swept across the tunnel entrance. The old man looked at him. "They know we're here. There isn't much time left." The man picked up the flash drive. For the first time, he wasn't running to hide. He was running to discover the truth. And this was only level 4. Level 5, the secret witness. The helicopter disappeared into the night, and for a few minutes, everything became silent. The old man looked at him. "You deserve to know the truth." He opened a small metal case. Inside, there was an old FBI badge. The man stared at it. "You were FBI?" The old man nodded. "I was. For 25 years. He took a deep breath. Project Raven wasn't created to protect people. It was created to hide a dangerous conspiracy. The room fell silent. The man couldn't believe what he was hearing. The old agent continued. 10 years ago, you accidentally witnessed a secret meeting. You didn't know what you had seen. But someone else did. They erased parts of your memory. They made you believe you were running from the law. But the truth is, you've been running from the people who wanted to silence you. The man's hands began to shake. He looked at the flash drive. "So, everything inside this drive," the old agent nodded, "is enough to expose the entire operation." Suddenly, a phone rang. It wasn't theirs. It was hidden inside the metal case. The old agent answered. His face changed immediately. They found the safe house. He looked at the man. "You have one chance. If they catch you, the truth disappears forever." He handed him the flash drive. "Go. Don't stop." The man hesitated. Then he grabbed the flash drive, picked up his backpack, and ran into the darkness once again. Behind him, the old agent stayed behind, buying him precious time. For the first time, the man understood he wasn't running to save himself. He was running to protect the truth. And this was only level 5. Level 6, the truth comes out. The tunnel behind him had fallen silent. He kept running, hour after hour, until the first light of morning appeared. Exhausted, he reached an abandoned cabin deep inside the forest. He locked the door, placed the flash drive on the table, and finally pressed play. The screen flickered. A video appeared. A former FBI director looked directly into the camera. His voice was calm. If you're watching this, Project Raven has already failed. The man leaned closer. The director continued. There are people inside powerful organizations who use this project for their own gain. We created this recording so the truth could survive. The man's heart pounded. Everything suddenly made sense. Just then, someone knocked on the cabin door. He froze. A voice came from outside. "I'm Special Agent Miller. I'm FBI. I'm alone. I'm not here to arrest you." The man stayed silent. The agent slowly placed his badge on the ground, then stepped back. "If I wanted to capture you, I wouldn't have come alone." After a long pause, the door opened. Agent Miller entered with empty hands. He looked directly at the flash drive. "I've been trying to find you, because you're the only witness left. The people responsible want that evidence destroyed. They're hiding from the law, not working for it." The room became quiet. For the first time in years, the man believed someone. Agent Miller looked at him and said, "You have two choices. Keep running forever, or help us expose the truth." The man looked at the flash drive, then at the agent. He finally nodded. "This ends now." Agent Miller smiled. "Then let's finish it." And this was only level 6. Level 7, the final mission. The cabin was no longer safe. Agent Miller looked at the map spread across the table. There is only one place left. The Raven Archive. The man frowned. "What's that?" Miller answered quietly. "It's where every secret file from Project Raven was stored. If we reach it first, we can expose everyone. But if they get there first, the evidence disappears forever." Before sunrise, they left the cabin. A black SUV waited nearby for hours. They drove through empty highways. Neither of them spoke. Finally, the road ended at an abandoned military facility hidden deep in the mountains. Tall fences surrounded the area. Security cameras still moved slowly. Even after 10 years, someone was protecting this place. Miller opened the trunk. Inside were 2 flashlights, a map, and a small key. "The old man gave me this years ago. It opens the archive." They quietly climbed through a broken fence. Every step echoed. The building felt frozen in time. Dust covered the floors. Broken computers filled the rooms. They reached a heavy steel door. The key fit perfectly. The door slowly opened. Inside, hundreds of old file boxes lined the walls. In the center of the room, a single computer was still running. The man inserted the flash drive. The screen lit up. Thousands of classified files appeared. Photos, videos, audio recordings. Enough evidence to expose everything. Suddenly, the lights went out. Darkness filled the room. A voice echoed behind them. "Step away from the computer." Several armed figures appeared in the shadows. They were not ordinary criminals, and they were not ordinary FBI agents. Their leader smiled. "You should have stayed hidden." Agent Miller stepped forward. "The truth ends tonight." The man tightened his grip on the flash drive. For the first time, he wasn't afraid. He knew why he had been running, and now he was ready to fight for the truth. The final chapter was about to begin. Level 8, the final truth. The archive room fell silent. The mysterious figures slowly stepped forward. Their leader smiled. "You've come a long way, but this story ends here." Agent Miller stood between them and the computer. "You've been hiding for 10 years. Tonight, it's over." Without warning, the leader reached for the computer, but the main character acted first. He removed the flash drive and slipped it into his pocket. The lights suddenly came back on. Red emergency alarms echoed throughout the building. Hidden security systems had been activated. The archive automatically began uploading every classified file to FBI headquarters. A progress bar appeared on the screen. 10%. The leader shouted, "Stop the upload!" His team rushed toward the computer. Agent Miller blocked their path. The main character ran to another terminal. He pressed one final button. The upload continued. 35%. 60%. The leader realized the truth. There was no way to stop it. He tried to escape, but outside, dozens of real FBI agents surrounded the facility. This time, they weren't hunting the witness. They were hunting the people behind Project Raven. The doors burst open. Agents entered from every direction. Within minutes, the operation was over. The conspiracy had finally ended. Weeks later, the government officially cleared the man's name. Every false accusation was removed. News stations across America shared the full story. The witness who had spent 10 years running had finally been proven innocent. Agent Miller handed him a small envelope. Inside was the old photograph. This time, the red mark across the missing man's face had been removed. On the back, a new message had been written. "The truth always finds its way." The man smiled. He looked toward the sunrise. For the first time in years, he wasn't looking over his shoulder. He wasn't running anymore. He was finally free. The FBI never hunted him because he was the villain. They hunted him because he carried the truth. Sometimes, the most dangerous person isn't the one who committed the crime. It's the one who knows what really happened. The end.